Hey guys, it's Corey from Unified Masters. Today, Corey from Lump Masters. And I wanted to talk about something that's, I am going through today, and I figured this is an opportune time to hop on and to show people the reality of what integration can be like for some of us. So, obviously, I'm here in bed, and this is what, when we look at the lessons of life, okay? When we look at the masters teaching us very important lessons, we can see things, like the Karate Kid with the wax on, wax off, and we could see these lessons of the masters sneaking up on you and teaching you about awareness. Well, the not so pretty moments that we can look at for mastery are the moments of practicing being, or what I like to call being a lump. The meat sack phase, the why am I here, the what am I doing here on earth. The days where you just get to wrap up with your unicorn blanket. If you have a unicorn blanket, rock on. This is not mine. This is actually Samantha's unicorn blanket. And so I stole it from her. She doesn't know. She's at work, so guys, don't tell her. Just kidding. She'll find out later. But I steal her unicorn blanket, and I just sit here and I practice being. I practice being. And so, this is what happens. And I mention this because I had a connection with the Andromedans came down probably about 4 days ago near the Knox. They're probably still here. I have a lot of things set up around the house that will make little knocks and kind of, they'll let me know about what's going on when I'm within resonance with something. So if you hear knocking and you hear things moving around in the background, that's just confirmation about what I'm talking about. But we had the Andromedans come by and did some upgrades. This was a part of that sweep of energies that came through that really blasted the Schumann resonance. We're finding a lot more people are having galactic visitations right now. And so when they came, they did a lot of upgrades on me and on Samantha. And since coming back down, meaning like we were here the entire time. But what I'm talking about is when we settle and become more grounded, all these activations and codes, especially that swept through with the Schumann spikes and all the solar waves and solar flares and solar storms that were occurring, a big part of the anchoring process is practicing the being to allow your cells to regenerate and to reprogram and to allow your light body to expand and activate. And so for me, what does that look like? I just gave you a 10-second clip of exactly what it looks like. This is pretty much it. And what's very interesting is there's very important lessons through the process of being. So when we look at, the polar shift or seeking balance, which a lot of this journey has been finding balance. We look at the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, the action and the being, the doobie 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 doo. And today is a day of being. The being is the receptive, it's the divine feminine, it's the allowing, it's the pulling in. And then what happens is through this phase we hit those moments of opportunity where we take inspired guided action, and then we start to step more into the masculine role, and then we get to a point where we balance and we can take action and be at the same time. And even in another form, like right now is a balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies, the opportunity to be and to do. As I am being and I am integrating, I hop on here and I share. I am doing and I am being at the same time. I'm allowing my body to rest and to relax, but I'm still creating. And so, when I first started to wake up and I started to watch all of my big time YouTube people, spiritual teachers, looking at people like Deepak Chopra, looking at the people that I grew up with, like Ralph Smart or Victor Odo, the masculines that I really looked up to. I always saw them with nice hair, they were out in Sedona or they're out in nature and they're looking all fresh and, but then there's the moments of reality for a lot of us. And there's this is what awakening looks like a lot of the time, as we are expelling more and more junk from our DNA, and we are dissolving beliefs, and we're collapsing timelines, and we're pulling codes, and we're anchoring, and we have these photonic light sweeps that come through and activate more of our thought processes to start eliminating those thought forms and building solid foundations. And then we have these meat sack days like this, where we're just being. And then we see other moments. Everyone's journey is completely different. The soul's journey is the soul's journey. We learn, I have had to learn not to make a comparison to another person's soul journey. And if I see someone's soul journey and I'm judging, well, that's now exposing something within me, a belief that I have to start to dispel. And I think the biggest one is that we see in the rat race, the quote-unquote 9 to 5, the hustle, 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 is that we find ourselves constantly doing, and we don't practice the being, which keeps us out of receptivity, and we don't gain the insight that we need in order to take the next step. And this mainly happens when we are still in the quote-unquote matrix, when we are still completely programmed, when this more is that I see here is as we are transitioning into the new life and the new world, is we see more moments of this, which is the meat sack, the integration, the process of being, the process of balancing, the process of finding what our energetic balance is as we are restructuring. We are, upgrading our divine blueprint, which is basically just getting back to self, going back to originality. Our light body is expanding. Things are changing. We have moments where we learn that when we are non-linear, when we were living in linear time and we had deadlines and things of that nature, we found that things had to be done by a certain time. And if we couldn't get those things done at a certain time, we were met with a bunch of resistance, it created this discord within us where we ended up pushing through those barriers and those blocks, which I think is very important sometimes, to push through barriers and blocks, or else we could just be meat sacks all the time. But we find that we force, and what that does is that creates a discord within our field that thus attracts more discord. And we start to not be able to just live in the heart and be balanced and just being. And so I found that once I escaped and started to escape third dimensional consciousness, and I started to expand and upgrade and learn more about my energy body, I recognize today that the universe and my energy body will open up the door of opportunity when the door of opportunity is there, when I am an energetic match, a vibrational match to the doing aspect. And so until then, I tune into my light body, and where's my light body? Today it is in the process of being. And so there's only one thing that is asked of me when I tune into my light body. I tune into my soul, I tune into my unified soul when it comes to being, and it's to just allow the being process. Teach myself patience, fall in love with the process of being again, so I can embody that, and I can go do, action in action, balanced in form, and reflect that outward, and be able to share that opportunity with people, and to practice that embodiment, to be able to allow these new codes to anchor, so then when I go and I process, and I go meet people, and I let my energy touch other people's energy bodies, what that does is that then activates them. And this is what a lot of this process is. Being a lump some days. And it's okay. There's a lot to learn in these moments where we can reflect. I've recognized recently, after a conversation today with a wonderful friend, is that we're both sitting on an energetic egg right now. And we cannot force when that egg hatches and when it opens. We will know. We will know. We will start to see the fractures, and we will know it is time for that thing to pop out. It is time to take that action. And so in that process, if we are called to be, I know it can be uncomfortable for some at times. I have a very difficult time just being. But today, I know that if we were to look at productivity from an old paradigm mindset and were to just kind of sit back and watch what I'm doing, it doesn't look like I'm doing a lot. But in this process of inaction, I'm actually doing a lot more than I could be if I were to force myself up and start to take action. And so I allow this process to unfold. I allow some days to be action, and some days to be. this is what a part of the journey is, and I wanted to share this with people. First off, because I think it's funny. It's a phase of awakening we don't see a lot of people talk about, and I love to be real and authentic, and to show that, you know, we are in the process of seeking the puppy farts, rainbow, and sunshine, okay? Which, that's the end result, right? But we have these moments, too, where it's not super glorious. But it can be magical, and it can be loving in that process. And this is where we learn to just slow down, and we fall in love with silence again. We fall in love with ourselves again. We fall in love with unifying with ourselves. And when we start to embody that, we notice it reflected outward. We learn to master ourselves, and then we become the masters, correct? Boom, right there. 10 minutes, 44 seconds. 10:44 right there, which is the signs of completions and building foundations. And this is what part of building foundations is learning to be. But also, too, is that when that guided action comes forth and that window of opportunity comes in and your vortex arrives, you step into it and you walk forth with grace and dignity and know you're ready. And this is what that preparation is a lot of the times. 11:11 right there. The preparation for the arrival of what it is you so desire. And then you walk through with courage and with strength, and you enjoy the ride. So anyway, short little video. Wanted to talk about being a lump, talk about integration, and show the reality of it. And so if you're going through this and you find this video, I'm currently embodying integration and being a lump to provide you the opportunity to do the same if you have a difficulty or have any struggle in just being. This is an important part of the process and learning experience for me and in my journey, because I don't do this enough. And when I do this, when I get allowed the opportunities to be, I fight it a lot. There's a lot of internal conflict and resistance that's going, oh, I should be doing more. I start shoulding on myself. And I've learned very early on, do not should on yourself. Just allow. And so this is what we do, is we allow. We allow one step at a time, which in that action can just be inaction. The process of being and the process of enjoying. So much love and respect to everybody out in the Webverse. If you haven't, click subscribe. Until the next time, I'm going to practice being, and I will see you on the other side. Namaste.